Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday night edition of Inside the Headset as we start off in East Tennessee. And I'm going to talk to the head coach of the William Blount Governors, head coach Philip Shadowens. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm doing great. Getting ready to eat dinner, so it's all good.
Well, that's a good thing. Let's turn the wheels back and go back to Thursday night and your last matchup, and a Thursday night matchup, and I got to tell you, it went up right down to the last minute with Sevier County. But take us through it, Coach, in an overtime loss and a tough one.
Well, it was a tough one. I mean, in all the Thursday night robbery games in 13 years they've been televised, they said it was one of the best ones they've seen. Unfortunately, we lost by a point in overtime, and just a game of swings back and forth. Both teams competing hard. We had a lot. We made a lot of mistakes. We had a very young secondary, and we got beat in the throw game quite a bit. And, we scored. We were down 6 last drive of the game. Took about a 4.5-minute drive, drove down, and scored with 30 seconds left. The tide, and all we had to do is kick an extra point. And of course, we got probably the best kicker in Tennessee, and we got it blocked. Missed a block on an edge and got it blocked, and so that sent it to overtime. And I went for 2. We scored first. I went for 2 on a trick play, didn't get it, and then they scored and kicked the extra point to win. So that's kind of a very simple answer to how the night went, but what a great night for high school football it was. It was a great opportunity for our kids to show what William Blount's about, and our atmosphere of the student body, and the show that we put on from a fireworks standpoint, true fireworks, we did that. And so it was great for William Blount. Unfortunately, we came up a point short, but a fun game for our kids to be a part of. I mean, they were hugely disappointed, obviously, with the loss, but we've recovered from that. But at the same time, that one's a hard one to take. Because we played so hard, and both teams played so hard.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them deals that you just hate. Hey, whoever would have lost the game, you hate it for the other team. I just hated it more for us, than I would have for them. But great contest, great game. Just unfortunate ending, but was proud of our kids and the fight that they showed.
I thought your quarterback put together a real nice drive there at the end of the game to buckle it up and to get it that close, and then there you were tied. I just thought he did a real good job of this is what we got to do if we're going to extend this game, and he seemed to do a real good job, Coach.
He did. It was a great drive, and really, to be quite honest with you, with the way we've been playing defense. And the funny thing about our defense is our pass defense we've been beat a couple of times this year, but our pass defense has been point on all year long. And then, all of a sudden, we couldn't guard anything, it seemed like. And I thought our young kids kind of panicked and covered. But Trey put together a great drive and really took our time because he didn't want to score too early. He had to score, obviously, and that was first and foremost. But, you kind of wanted to use the clock some and score with less than a minute. And I think we scored with 36 seconds, technically, is what we scored with. So put together a great drive, and it's a kid that's a junior for us, and a bunch of sophomore receivers made plays for us, and so I was proud of what they were able to do. Obviously proud of what Trey was able to do there as our quarterback, but unfortunately, it just didn't end the way we wanted to. But man, I really thought it showed some growth in our program with the way our kids performed.
Oh, definitely, and I felt like your quarterback kept growing up. We watched it over here online, but I just felt like he was growing up, and maybe you've seen it. I didn't get to see him get week 1, but now here we are, to the back half of the season, and seems like he's grown up a lot this year. And has he progressed as where you thought he would, Coach?
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a good player. I mean, he wasn't perfect on Thursday night. We missed some balls early on. We probably could have scored 70, to be quite honest. We missed some things, but I thought he played really, really well. Played really tough. He ran the ball effectively. Made some plays off schedule, and just competed. I mean, just one of those. Just a kid that I thought really grew up, and he's been growing up as the year goes on, to be quite honest with you. He's gotten more and more confident, but I thought the way in which he competed was the most impressive thing. I mean, at any point, you kind of could have threw in the towel, because he kept going back and forth, but you kept having to make plays, and I thought he just kept us in it and kept making plays for us and kept making throws for us, and when it counted the most at the end, he made some big-time plays for us, and, able to score there. And, what should have been the end of the ball game, to be quite honest with you. We should kick the extra point like always, and you win by a point, and game's over. But unfortunately, we got it blocked. And it doesn't come down to that one play. Obviously, there were 50 plays that could have went either way. But certainly, when everybody thinks about it, you got to kick the extra point at the end of the game to win it, and we're not able to do that.
Well, let's talk about your next opponent, and that'd be Elizabethton and the Cyclones. Looks like they're having a pretty good year. I'll let you talk about them. You've got more video than I do, but looks like Coach Witness is having a pretty good season. So tell us a little bit about Elizabethton and your next opponent.
Yeah, they're one of the better teams we played. Obviously, probably not as good as Maryville, but probably good. As good as probably all the other teams we played, and they're undefeated. We'll probably stay that way. It'll be between them and Greenville in their district. And Greenville might have been the best public school in the state, maybe besides Oakland last year. And so they're in the district with Greenville, and it'll come down, I think, week 8 or 9, and that district see wins. I think they're ranked 3rd in the state in 4A, but they're not a 4A program. I mean, they beat Sciencefield game 1. I mean, they beat 6A programs, and it'll be a tough matchup for us.
I'd say so.
They're a power running team.
Yeah,
they're a power running team, but yet they still throw the ball around some. They're just very sound at what they do. They're well coached, and they don't have anything that stands out as this is a weakness. Their team speed is good. It's not as good as some teams we played against, but they're good team speed. They're big and physical up front. We get our big tackle back. He's missed the last 2 weeks, which has really hurt us, and so that'll help us some. And so it's going to come down to physicality at the line of scrimmage. I mean, that's what it always comes down to. It seems like with us at times that, last week was kind of an exception to that where everybody threw the ball around. But most of the time in our league, and when you're playing after, it's the most physical team up front. Who can run the ball the best, that kind of stuff. And then with the ability to throw it as well. But they have a young quarterback, throws a lot of quick passes, screens. But he does have a big-time receiver that's a junior, big 6'2" kid that can really run, and that they'll throw the jump ball to occasionally. So it's it's going to be a challenge for us. But to be honest with you, we've had even though it's been 95 and daggone October, we've had an unbelievable week of practice, and that's always a concern when you're full of a lot of young kids playing and you lose a tough one like that. How they're going to respond back? But man, they responded back like champs, and that was a challenge for them. I told them up front it was going to be a challenge to see how can we just keep on doing what we're doing, keep on working as hard as we've been working, keep on believing, keep on understanding that the program has changed because of how hard they've worked. And based on this week of practice, then I think we'll play our best game, and it'll take every bit of our best game Friday night to beat Elizabethton. But our kids are excited about it, and we go into fall break after that, and so I think we want to. Our kids have worked hard. They want to leave with a good taste in their mouth, and so I expect them to come out and really compete hard. And it's going to take everything we have to be able to do so.
It's funny you say that. I watched or we broadcasted and pulled one on Friday over to Riverdale with a backyard brawl, and Will lost one, and I'm sure you're aware of that one and everything. And when I drove up yesterday to interview him, they were having practice. It wasn't a pity party. I mean, they were rolling and trying to get ready. They're ready to play. I mean, they got Siegel. They want to play Siegel. Right. So and that's the way it is. I mean, it doesn't matter who. It's on to the next opponent, and I'm sure you thought the same way. Well, Coach,
absolutely.
We'll wrap it up, but tell us a little something about what you're going to do over the break. How's that schedule going to roll?
I got a new grandson. He's 6 months old, and so I'll spend a little time with him, and then we're going to hang out here. Sydney's off. She still works at Vanderbilt as a nurse. She's off for the next almost all next week, so she's coming up, I think, tomorrow night when she gets off work, and be up here for 5 or 6 days. And we're just going to spend time together, and as a family, and just kind of hang out. And we may go to Gallenberger Pigeon Forge and go on a hike in the mountains if it cools down. But just going to be a time to kind of reload our energy and to come back ready from fall break, ready to finish our football season up. So just a family time. I'm a big fan. Me, Stork. I'm all about family, so we're going to hang out with the family and do some things that are fun with our family.
Well, Coach, I'll be off next week, just like you, but we come back, and that week after, we'll give you a whistle, and I'll text everybody and let you know, and I'll be in the week of the Battle of the Borough, and you've been around for a few of those and know all about that, but I got a good one. I got a good one now Friday night. I got this Blackman-Oakland game over here at the Inferno, so it should be a good one. So we'll see.
That used to be a fun game. I know, Tommy was there when I was at Blackman, and I think we were 4-4 the last 8 times we played, and we acted like we hated each other. Tommy and I were actually pretty good friends off the field. We just didn't tell anybody. So that was some fun days back in there, and I'm sure it's still a fun game for those kids. So that'll be fun for you guys.
Well, and I tell everybody, how this whole coaches show and how I became friends with a lot of different coaches was because of you, because I filmed for you, and if they couldn't get the copy or something something went wrong, you'd send me a text and you'd say, you let Coach McDaniel have our copy. That's what I want, and he's got to have it for a trade, and it's just part of it. And Coach McDaniel asked me a couple of questions. Next thing I know, I'm his friend, and we picked up the rest of them, and we've been doing it ever since. But you've been with me every show, Coach, and I appreciate it ever since 2009, and you've hung right with me. And we wish you the best of luck Friday night. We hope you have a wonderful break.
Hey, same to you, Stork. Tell everybody we said hello. Thanks, buddy.
All right, see you. Bye.
See you.